Hello, everyone. Good evening from Nigeria. And hi to everyone. Thanks from wherever you are joining us for this training series on advancing ocean conservation through Web3 technology, right? And we have with us the amazing um, trainer here with us by name Oluwafemi Bayejo. And when it is time, I would introduce him and he would have the floor. Paul Ayomide Iriola, the founder and executive director of Aquaworld Community Development Initiative in Nigeria. And Aquaworld is a youth-led organization that is committed to implementing creative solutions, right? To protect marine biodiversity in Nigeria, and also implementing pragmatic measures to improve the resilience of coastal communities against environmental degradation. And one thing that is very important for us at Aquaworld is advancing ocean conservation, not only in Nigeria, in Africa, and across the globe. And that is why we utilize the virtual space where we can reach everybody from different parts of the world. And that is why we are having this webinar series, because ocean conservation now is a global discourse, and there are multi-dynamic approaches to enhancing ocean conservation, right? And before I bring in our guests, I'd like every one of us to drop our name and where we are joining from in the chat box. Can we all do that within the next 2 minutes? Yes, can we all do that? Let's see our name and where you are joining us from. So we have Ojetunde Naimat from Ogun State, Nigeria. We have Sheriff Dean Babalola joining us from Dresden in Germany. We have Adetola Adebowale joining us from Ibadan, Nigeria. And we have Olagboye Olasukomi joining us from Nigeria. We have Abiodun Adebowale joining us from Akure. We have Amupiton Oluwayomi joining us from Ibadan. All right. So we hope to get more of you comment in the chat box. And for those of you that are going to be watching the recording, when you start hearing this, also we are super excited to connect with you. We can see Mohammed Obari from Akure. We have Soebat Mustafa from Lodz, Poland. All right. So briefly, I'm just going to take us through ocean conservation initiatives. And when you hear ocean conservation, what comes to your mind? Right. When you hear ocean conservation, what comes to your mind? First, I believe we all know that the ocean, right, is a body of water that occupies over 70% of the Earth's surface, right? So that body of water that we see, right, that occupies over 70% of the Earth's surface, right, and mostly salt, right? Tastes like it has a salty taste. I'm just trying to go very simple, no technical term. So, and fortunately, Nigeria is a coastal state. Nigeria is a coastal state, which means that we share boundary with one of the oceans, right? And currently, we are saying that all the oceans are one because they are connected. we share boundary with the Atlantic Ocean. So what do we mean by ocean conservation, right? It simply means protecting and preserving the marine ecosystems, right? The ecosystem of the ocean, right? Through actions, solutions, measures, whatever you do to protect and preserve the ocean is referred to as ocean conservation, right? So those of you that have joined our beach cleanup, that is it, you're taking part in ocean conservation. We can see Sashi from Lagos, welcome. So for those of you that are joining our trainings, right, our monthly trainings, we are taking part in actions that help to conserve the ocean. For those of you that are join our advocacy, our campaigns, our workshops, right? You're contributing to ocean conservation. And today we're looking at how we can explore Web3. What is Web3? And how can we explore Web3 in ocean conservation is the reason why we are here. And at this point, I'll bring in on our speaker to do justice to this. The person of Mr. Oluwafemi Bayejo, who is a recycling company in Nigeria and also co-founder of TFM Lab. I bring onto stage Mr. Oluwafemi. Welcome. Hello, Mr. Femi, are you there? You are muted.
Okay, yeah. Can you hear me? I don't know if I'm audible enough.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, very audible.
All right. Okay, let me start with the slang GM. That's the way we do it here, the Web3 space. It's so good to be on this particular training series to share one or two things about Web3 and we can leverage the whole, the idea, the movement to, to effectively contribute to ocean conservation using some of the, like some of the things that what Web3 has to offer us in terms of community, decentralization, and some of the core concepts of decentralization of Web3. And I would like to start with, by sharing my slide. I'm trying to put that together so we can all see that. The introduction is a bit so. I think I'll just adjust that. Okay. Okay, let me observation. I'll try to share my screen now so we all can see what we are dealing with here. Just give me a few minutes. What's wrong with my screen?
Okay, please, while the trainer is trying to fix the screen, please, some of us, we are actually interrupting with our touch on the whiteboard. So
Whiteboard, yeah.
So let's be careful of that.
So actually, this session will be more like I'll say more hands-on to get to like interact, and less talking, more interaction. That is the idea, and should be very interesting. Okay. Let me try and see if I can share this. Okay. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see my screen now.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I will continue with the intro about what we do at WaySets. My name is Oluwafemi, just like Mr. Paul introduced. I'm the CEO and also the CEO of TFM Lab, and Centralized Visual Emotion Lab, a company dedicated to leveraging blockchain technology to addressing local problems in Africa and also beyond. And we started on a quest to address one of the most, let's say one of the problems we face that has proven to be quite challenging, or even for big brands, waste. And we are doing this through our platform, through WasteSet, a blockchain protocol created to address the issue of waste, taking using a more holistic approach from the from the generation side of things to the governance, recycling, and leveraging basically Web3 technology. That is what we do at WasteSet. And I think I'll share more info about that later. It's like kind of free. So the goal of this series is to basically walk us through. It's more like a practical session anyways. Let's talking. Next week we're going to go into data. We can create wallets, creating DAOs, managing DAOs, and several other things. But I would like to talk more about what Web3 is and why this section is very, very important for us. First, Web3 was born out of several ideas, and I would love to comment what Aquaworld is doing to contributing, or should I say, as a very passionate warrior, working together to combat the issue, the current challenges that life, animals, life on water, those issues that, say, for example, disposal of waste and all these challenges, that I would say threatens life on life in water. And through Aquaworld, I think we've been able to, we've partnered on some occasions, yeah, and I'll say it has been very, very impressive to see how individuals are coming together to actually, make positive impacts that affect people who care or don't really care. Because at the end of the day, we have to do what we need to do. And I would like to commend Aquaworld for doing amazing in that regard, fighting, to preserve our waters, yeah. And to further enhance that, or to further make that easier, we decided to work with Aquaworld to ensure that, okay, people get to understand emerging technologies, how emerging technologies like blockchain can be leveraged. Not just blockchain, the technology alone, but the some of the core concepts of Web3. And one of the first things that we've learned about Web3, some of the core concepts, or basically Web3 is just about it's more on how we can make the whole system more decentralized. That is, taking out more centralized entity, trying to find a way to take them out, and also introducing blockchain technology, which as of today has proven to be a very good solution to cross-border payments or cross-border settlements, crowdfunding, and several other tokenization, fractional ownership, and several other concepts of that blockchain technology can help with. And the last part, which is token-based economics, we can implement things like if you're a farmer or you have a farm and you produce yam, you can decide to tokenize it. We can decide to supply, let's say, breed more fish, or let's say tilapia species for a particular purpose, for the ocean or something, to release them back into the ocean. We can create a program like that, and then we can tokenize it. We can, you know, for every fish we raise, or for every fish we let's say raise, basically, we can decide to tokenize it. We can call it something like fish token, and then basically just to create we're adding value, so tokenizing their value. These are some of the core concepts of Web3. And when we look at what we have currently now, my slide is not that full. We have several things here that I won't really touch more on the history of blockchain, so many stuff around blockchain. But before we got here, we let's look at what decentralization is. What exactly are we referring to when we say systems need to be decentralized? And what I would the typical example I use is the way we transact now, the current monetary system, or the way our banks work. So most of the time when we deal, or when we interact, when we send money, we basically interact with our banks. They have the record of all the transactions we make, and they keep all these records with them. You know, they have the records, and when we try to say send from one bank to the other, that is what we call an bank settlement system. That, you know, they basically what they do is they keep the records of all transactions, or record of customers across different banks. And the same thing with when we're trying to send money from a local bank to, say, a bank in US, or a bank in another country. We use we have several but the common one is Swift. So the challenge there is we have several intermediaries. We have several, we call them middlemen, you know, doing all that work, switching and all the stuff. So with Web3, we you know, Web3 brings this concept that we can actually eliminate a lot of inefficiency, costs, by eliminating the middlemen. I mean the middle guys. And not just that alone, we also get to beyond eliminating the middlemen, we also get to like make the system more faster, you know, more efficiency, and several other benefits actually. And that is the core concept of you know, that's what blockchain technology seeks to address by creating a, you know, decentralized ledger system, or records of transaction, where anybody, so far you have access to the hardware, or you can, you know, just run the scripts or the stuff, you can actually keep a record of all transactions as well. And that is the beauty of Web3. That's the beauty of Web3 and blockchain technology. So at the core of, I say at the center of Web3, we have blockchain technology. But it doesn't just stop there. We have what we call this, aside from this decentralization, eliminating the middlemen through you know, blockchain technology and the core concepts. We also have what we call selling that. So we also have some, should I say, some other concepts like consensus, how we come to agreements when we decide on things. How do we come to an agreement? How do we address some things? But as we are basically going to cover some other things in the future. But for now, we want to look at how blockchain is currently being used, and some other. I will also touch on some potential use cases and how it applies to you know, ocean consolidation. Because currently now we have cross-border payments, which is like the should I say, the core of I say the vast one, what we're used to, stable coins. Sending, you can, you know, you cannot send dollar equivalent of a token. You can send it to someone wherever they are without any restriction, basically just connecting through your wallet to a node, and then, you know, the transaction is processed, and almost instantly whoever you're sending the money to gets you know, the balance top up. And that is that's like the beauty of blockchain technology, fast cross-border transaction, not just cross-border, but fast transactions. You know, it's common with some blockchains, not all. Because I isn't here. Oh, what about Ethereum? Ethereum isn't that cool. Yeah, that's true. Trying to see if I can see the audience while presenting. if that is possible. Oh, just give me a few minutes. I'm trying to see. I can see everybody because I want to look at the audience and know if actually communicating. See that difficult. Okay. Yeah, so one of the most popular one is cross-border payments. We also have asset tracking and tokenization or recording. We are familiar with real estate, as one of the, let's say, investment scheme common here in Africa, where people, basically put their money and they make a lot of money doing so. With blockchain technology, we can also make it possible for people without the people who don't have, big cash, basically, let's say enough money to go into it to participate in, to invest in real estate through tokenizations. And with tokenization, we talk about fractionalizing assets. We can talk about, we can take let's say, for example, a duplex, or say, just a building, and then we can fractionalize it in a way that more than 500, 1,000 people can own that particular building. And that is the beauty of Web3. The same thing with fractionalization of land. We talk about things like RWA, reward asset representation, among many other things. But for now, we'll just look at, we touched on it briefly. Then in next week, we look at how we can actually apply some of these, or we look at how this technology can be applied to ocean conservation. Talk about things like crowdfunding. How can we crowdfund easily to support ocean cleanup? How can we, there are several issues around crowdfunding. There are several issues around ocean conservation, accountability, water credits, and some of that cool stuff that is happening in the Web3 space around leveraging Web3 and blockchain technology. Yeah, so we also have creative rights management. That's for the creatives, for artists, for musicians. You can tokenize your music and give people access to it, fractionalize ownership, and several other things like that. So it's just basically saying whatever you create, you can represent it digitally, and you can transfer it. Leveraging what we have. You have 20, you have NFT technologies and the like. And we also have governance, which is one of the most very interesting parts of blockchain technology. We can use blockchain for call something DAO, centralized autonomous organization, where basically everyone in an organization, say Aquaworld, for example, can make contributions that actually affect the growth of the company or the organization, or where your voice can be heard easily. Blockchain technology can be used to, we can leverage DAO system, DAO governance to achieve that. And governance extends to we can apply it in our current governance system, where we have, ministries can have ministers and several, they can have a DAO system where we allocate resources, we allocate funding, for depending on what is more important and the votes of the DAO members. And these DAO members will include, let's say, for example, the public, those who are directly affected by the execution of this, or, those people, the budget is meant for, the people, yeah, of course, the people. So, blockchain technology makes it easy for us to do that. And, one of the very, very important, I'll say very important, yeah, feature of blockchain technology now is what we call transparency. Because when it comes to blockchain, except those ones that are privacy focused blockchains that are trying to add in transactions, or you can basically see what is being allocated, the funding allocated to for public infrastructural project or any project. You can see the funding, you can track it. So far, they adopted the technology, and these are some of the cool application of blockchain technology today. I don't know if you guys are following. If you guys are following, can you just leave a reaction emoji? I want to be sure I have people here who are actually.
Yes, I am following. Please, if you are following, can you drop?
I don't know if
an
it's possible for me to
emoji?
see. I want to see the audience, but
Okay, can you click on the layout? Is there anything like layout on your screen? Are you sharing from your laptop?
I'm sharing from my laptop, from the app itself.
Yeah,
Like,
can you is there anything like layout?
no, that's the problem. No layout, nothing.
Okay, Naimot just commented that she's following.
Okay, that's cool.
Wow, we have people following.
Okay, that's
Sharing emojis.
Okay, let me see what I can do. Okay, I think if I switch on the audio, I'll be able to. Okay, all right. I think I understand why I can't see everybody now, because I have the. So I'm just, yeah, this is beautiful. Okay, yeah. So I think I can see everyone. I can see most people now. The system is revving really fast.
Okay,
yeah,
everyone, thank you for your comments. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier, so some of the core or beautiful thing about decentralized, or why we choose decentralization is to make a system more reliable. One, um, redundancy. So when a system fails, or let's say a part of the system fails, we can have transactions going, we can have activities going on. You understand? We can maintain the system whether one or two or more part of the system fails to operate. And this is one of the beauty of decentralization. And we have distributed systems, we have centralized system, and we have decentralized. I won't really go much into the detail, but decentralized is different from distributed. In distributed system, we have, for example, we can have a bank, running multiple records, having multiple records of their customers. It's still distributed, not decentralized. But when we talk about decentralized, we have different entities having records of people or say for an example in an organization, we can have members of Aquaworld, they can all have their own records basically. We can have their records of everyone in the organization, something like that. Yeah, so the core of blockchain, we have what we call a transaction. So when you send money to someone, you're basically performing a transaction. If you're sending data, because we can also send data through blockchain, encoding it in the data field, like for example, blockchains like Ethereum, Bitcoin. I don't know Bitcoin, sorry. I say Bitcoin, sorry. Blockchain like Ethereum, Celo, Polygon, we can embed data in it, though not at the user level, but it's possible. And when you're trying to sign in, you can sign into an account. When you do that, you're also using you're performing a transaction. But in most cases, transaction is basically changing the state of the blockchain. So when you do that, you pay gas fee or some kind of fee, which is native to every blockchain. For Celo, it's the Celo token. For Ethereum, it's Ether. For Polygon, it's Matic. For Arbitrum, I think Ab. And several networks, they have their they're paying gas fee, and the gas fee is dependent on the network. So this is just a distinction between gas price and gas fee. I won't really go much into detail, but because the goal of this particular session is to walk us through. And for then, after we have the idea, we now practicalize. We try to create a wallet, or we try to create a DAO. We try to send transactions. We try to do things like crowdfunding. Basically just learning how we can do that using what we have here. So we have gas, that's the unit of to change the state of the blockchain. The price is that the analogy we use is we have gas. For example, if you're trying to fuel your vehicle, you need gas, you need petrol. The quantity you buy is the, let's say 2 moves to travel from a particular location is the actual gas that you need. The quantity in liter, the gas price is the current, I think they call it meter value. I think I'm trying to remember that. Like the cost per, in Nigeria, say, okay, 16 naira per liter, something like that. Vending price or something, I've forgotten the actual. What you get is the amount you are going to pay the fuel attendant or whoever is attending to you. That is the gas fee. The gas price is the amount current vending price, like the amount you pay per liter. The gas is the actual amount of petrol or alcohol. I don't know what the or the actual amount of fuel you need to fill your, fill up your tank and enough to push you to wherever you're going. Gas limit, that's the maximum amount you should pay anybody to get to where you, or let's say the maximum amount your car can hold, plus 5 liters, 75 liters, depending on the kind of vehicle you use. So moving forward, we have different kind of blockchain. We have Ethereum, which is one of the most popular blockchain. But I'm more interested in cellular blockchain, which is also like transitioning to Ethereum very soon. Becoming an L2 on Ethereum. I got it's not enough. Let me just sign in this. Good. Sorry. Okay, so I'll start to wrap up. Yeah, so let me quickly wrap up. We have different kind of blockchain. We have Ethereum, we have the cellular blockchain. But the cellular, we're going to use that, we're going to practicalize it, to get familiar with it. And yeah, so if you have any question, now is your opportunity for you to ask, and for you to ask before we call it a day. And tomorrow we continue talk about wallets. We talk about setting up wallets and some other things we can do basically. Yeah, so if you have any question, please feel free to, I think they can unmute. I don't know if I'm right about that. You can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, while we are trying to think of any question, please let's give Mr. Femi a wonderful round of applause in the chat box. Let's give him a wonderful round of applause. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi. And I love the way he introduced the session to us. This is just an introductory class. And of course, now everyone here can understand what blockchain is about, the application of blockchain, right? And everyone understand the various networks. At least those of you that had gas, you think, oh, gas can only be used in our kitchen. Now you know that we use gas also in blockchain, what gas limit is, gas price, right? And the fact that the session is recorded means that whenever you are trying to watch the session again, right, you would relate. So look at it in just a brief session. Look at what Mr. Femi did for us. Thank you so much, sir. All right, so Mr. Femi, we have a question for you. Someone said, how does NFTs, how do they work? And are they all connected to what you just said? So that's the question. So I think Paul can stop the recording now.
Okay, so you said what do we mean by, what do you understand by NFT?
Yeah, he said, how does NFT work?
What are NFTs? I didn't get the last part. So
he said, how do NFT work? And are they connected to those networks you said before?
Okay. I will touch on that quickly. So on a blockchain, we have, let's do something practical. We have, it's basically records, right? People keeping digital records of transactions. When we start, we know that, let's say, for example, when we start, let's say this is Ethereum. We say, we are starting now. We have everyone on this call our balance will be 0 ether, right? And when we mine, or let's say we can just assign some tasks for us to do. And then when we are done with the task, we say, okay, Paul should get 50 ether, I should get 50. Let's say our blockchain is Aquaworld. You get 50 Aqua, everyone on the call gets 50 Aqua. So we record it. Everyone here, we all have like a paper here. We put the record there that, okay, this is what everyone, this is the current balance of everyone in this particular organization or on this particular network. That is the way to picture it. Then we now move forward. Okay, what exactly is what do we mean by tokens? So tokens is just a representation of a digital value. Can be anything. We can represent this sheet of paper here as a token and call it just paper. You get that's basically what a token is. You can check. I didn't want to bore us with too many technical words, so that's why when we get started, when we go in fully, we understand it better. But just picture a token is just representation of a digital value, representation of something of value digitally. And a typical example is our airtime recharge pin, or anytime we try to recharge. So what we are doing anytime we do that is we get a token, or let's say when we are trying to top up our let's say prepaid meter. Yeah, that's a typical example. What they send to us or send to our mail is the token, right? And that token has a particular value associated to it. And the value in this case is the amount of energy that we can use, say, for example, at the current, say, bill rates. This is the amount of energy that we can get. And that is what token basically is, representing value digitally. So if we have something like, let's say, money here, this is like 200 naira, we can represent it digitally. I call it 200 token or 200 aqua or something. We know that 200 here, we understand what the value is and we can share the value with other people. So in the case of NFT, when we have 200 naira here, let me see if I have another denomination. Okay, I'll use 1,000 naira. I think I have some cash here. So this, what we have here is like, I don't know if you guys can see my screen. Okay, so we have different cash here. I think I blew the background, yeah. So we have different, this is like 1 naira, 1,000 naira. Let me just use 2. We have this is like the newer note, the new notes. This is the old notes. So what we are saying here is this 1,000 naira is the same thing, whether we like it or not. They both carry the same value. They represent the same value. The same thing with what we have here, represent the same value. But in the case of NFT, this guy here, this blue guy here is different from this guy, even though they are both like, this one is blue, more bluish, or this one is more brownish. So with NFT, you can't replace this with this. You can't give someone this bluish 1,000 and expect to get this other this version of the notes, because it's non-fungible. That's where we got the word non-fungible token. You can't exchange it, or you can't replace it with the same, even though normally 1,000 is 1,000 naira, whether new notes or old notes, because they represent the same value. But with NFTs, they don't represent the same value. Yeah, so I don't know if this analogy works, but that's like the whole idea of NFT. You can't exchange it for it,
Thank you so much, Mr. Femi, for that. Yeah, so tomorrow's session is going to start by 10 a.m. West African time. So we will not be able to entertain too many more questions because we have streamlined all of the session into 4 weeks, maximum of 30 to 40 minutes every day. We want to encourage active participation, and that is why you saw that Mr. Femi was trying to cut everything short, right? So tomorrow's session is going to start by 10 a.m. using the same link that we all joined with, right? So if you have questions from whatever you took down, please, tomorrow's session, before we start. We'll start exactly by 10. Mr. Femi will take 5 minutes to answer any other question that you have from today's session tomorrow. Then, before we go into the next fragmented phase. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I'm looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi, for your time. Have a wonderful night rest, everyone.
All right. Bye. So we'll see tomorrow. Talk tomorrow.
Yes, see you tomorrow.